All right, looks like everyone is on. So hi everyone, it's great to see you all. And I want to thank you for joining us today to learn some great human resource practices that you can use brought to us by Insperity. I just want to introduce myself. I'm Andrea Lamont. I'm the Senior Coordinator in Chapter Education. And in just a moment, I will introduce today's presenter, but just a few housekeeping items to go over. Today's session will be recorded. We will share it out with each of you after the session, along with the slides and a survey as well. If you have any questions during the presentation, feel free to drop them in the chat. We'll respond during an open Q&A at the end of the presentation, but if we do run out of time, we will follow up with you directly and make sure we get all your questions answered. So with that said, Insperity, one of our great partners, can offer HR expertise and benefit packages to your chapter through a PEO, a professional employer organization. They can also assist with managing payroll, providing benefits, and offering just general HR support. You can learn more about them on our chapter intranet. So we'll drop a link in the chat that will go to their page if you'd like to read more about them. But for now, I'd like to thank RB and go ahead and hand it over to him. And thank you for joining us today.
Andrea, thank you very much. My name is RB Ellis, and I am the National Account Sales Advisor for Insperity, and we are very happy to be a partner of the First T. And everybody who's here today, we're going to talk a little bit about Insperity and how really good practices as it relates to HR can help boost the morale of your people and keep people around longer. So how is it that, Insperity knows so much about this? And I'll share a little bit with you on that as well. But just a little history on me. Formerly a PGA professional. I was a Class A1 for 8 years. Did that whole thing in a much younger version of myself. I have been with Insperity for 8 years and now have been their national account sales advisor. So it is, a lot of different angles that I bring to this meeting and also at Insperity through the lens of how is it that we are able to do what we do and help business owners every day. So if you would go to the next slide, please. That is me. Next slide. So today, a little bit about what we're going to cover: culture, onboarding, training, performance reviews, employee retention, engagement, and servant leadership. These are going to be kind of the pillars of what we're going to cover today. Next slide, please. So this is an important statement. Every company has culture, either by design or by default. And one of the key things here is you want a company that has culture by design, because by default, you just never know what's going to go on there. A workforce in each company is its people, and not just roles that these people have, but they also have ambitions and goals and perspectives and bring great ideas. And as long as those individuals have their ideas and they're able to express those in a meaningful way, leadership needs to recognize that. So when employees feel connected to the growth of the company, when they feel connected to shared purpose and values, they become better, higher performing employees, and the retention level goes up as well. Next slide, please. So when you think about this culture, right? One of the things that we stress with business owners is real simple: develop a mission, a vision, and a set of values. This will inspire people to give their best every day. It seems very simple, it seems very basic, but companies that are listed as the best places to work employ people that, they're very happy and excited and enthusiastic about their roles. And when they are, they become better producers and it becomes contagious. Just like the other way, right? If you've got somebody who's constantly looking at their watch and wanting to leave early, that may also negatively affect other employees. So it's important to develop a culture there where people are enthusiastic about their role. They also see a way for them to progress upward and to move the needle. And they feel, again, connected to the purpose and the value and the mission of the company. So, a couple of things here. The mission statement, right? A lot of companies have mission statements, but really, the core of the mission statement is the company's purpose. The vision statement, right? This narrows down your mission to what it is that you want to accomplish. And really important, those are the specific areas of what you're going to do. And then the values, how you and your employees are going to behave as a result to getting to those mission values. Okay. Very important little nuances and differences there. But what we have found over the course of the years doing this, companies that have this very well spelled out continually retain better employees. Insperity does this well with bells on because we have a lot of people who've worked for this company for a long time. And it's because the leadership walks the walk and they do what they say they're going to do. Next slide, please. This is from our CEO. Culture is like the oil in an engine that makes it all run smoothly but effectively. It's where you go to get the power. If you don't have oil in the engine, everything breaks down and locks up and you can't move. Paul Sarvati started our company back in 1986. He is still our CEO today. He took a very bold move with three other partners and created Insperity. Back then it was called Administaff. And by the way, if you guys aren't aware, Insperity hosts a senior tour event, and our very first spokesperson at the company was Arnold Palmer. Our current spokesperson, who was recommended by Arnold Palmer to Insperity, is Jim Nance. So, yeah, we're a golfing company, but what we are first is an HR company. And Paul started that back in 1986. And you fast forward to today, we are 4,500 employees. We are in all 50 states, and we help all types of businesses with everything to do revolving around having employees. So, what he says speaks a lot of truth, and we've seen it in effect for a lot of companies. And again, me personally, see it right here at Insperity. Next slide, please. So, you think about this, the first thing, onboarding. You've hired someone new, right? What does this look like? How can you make this be pleasurable? I know that I've had a bunch of different jobs in my life, and some of the onboarding experiences were good, some of them weren't. I can tell you without reservation, the onboarding experience I had at Insperity was exceptional, by far and away the best. They had everything prepared for me so that when I arrived day one, I was welcomed. I had everything at my desk, I was ready to go, and then I had the next steps of what I needed to do during my role. So, if you see here the principles, and we're going to go clockwise, principle number one, make the first day on the job special. Insperity did that for me. Use a formal orientation program. Make an onboarding participatory. That way, the employee feels like, again, they're engaged. They're not only being told what to do, but receive feedback. The leadership should be ready for that. Be sure the program is consistently implemented, right? Every time you've got a new hire, this is something you want to make certain is done. Monitor the program over time. Use meetings with key company stakeholders as a part of the program. So a new person comes on and you're introducing them to different parts of the company. And then be clear with the employees about objectives, timelines, roles, and responsibilities so that they understand what the next steps are going to be for them. That's onboarding. Next slide, please. So long-term employee engagement. So I'm going to, read through some of this, but obviously highlighting your mission, vision, and values and discuss them frequently. What this comes down to is if you think about these types of things, really your employees want to work for something greater than just a daily checklist, right? They want purpose, and your mission and values should be the thing that's driving them forward for feeling something more than just, hey, I did X today, I'm done, and I'm out. You want to instill upon them that type of what we call servant leadership here at Insperity. Talk about the mission and the vision and values often. Reset with them. Continually do it through your leadership throughout the company so that all the employees will then understand, hey, this is what I feel as well, and it'll help them get engaged. That's creating a healthy culture from the top. So the leaders, and it filters down to all of the employees. Okay. Increased long-term engagement is going to start with this. So if you think about all of these things, one-on-one meetings, weekly company meetings, or quarterly company meetings, however you want to do it, but keep everybody informed. And again, what we're trying to do is to build that teamwork, and so that everybody understands where everybody is going in the same direction. Leave it open for questions as well. It's important that everybody feel like they're a part of this team. Implementing career pathing and development. Now, this may be a little bit, I'm not certain with First Tee, but I know for business owners, right? We want people to feel like, hey, I've got another place that I can aim for. I'm here now, but I want to go, what's my career path to get to here? And that ends up being very important because a lot of people look at their job role as, I want to start here, and I know that I'm starting maybe a little bit lower than I want to, but I want to end up over here. How do I get there? And that is part of those roles. So embrace change with career path and development. Invest. Hey, training and development, right? That might be the company, that might be First Tee investing in some training for your employees. And then coaching and mentoring. So these are all important recognition tools as far as speaking to the employee about getting to where they want to go, as long as their goals align with First Tee's goals. Next slide, please. So retention, this is important. People want to know their work means something, right? Recognizing and rewarding high performers, definitely necessary. Frequent feedback, spending time with employees, clues you into what motivates them, right? Spending that time and communicating with that. So allow for, individualization along the way. If you've got somebody that's doing something maybe a little bit different, but again, it aligns with the goals of the First Tee, that's important. That gives them the freedom to be able to express themselves, but within the guidelines of First Tee. High performers need to be recognized, right? If they're doing something beyond continually, we do need to make certain that they're recognized for their efforts. And as long as, again, they're going to feel valued, and they're going to put in that extra effort discretionarily. Next slide, please. So building a strong benefits program, these are based on clear goals, right? We know from a business owner's perspective, you're going to have employees that want to understand, hey, if I do this, then these metrics are met, then maybe I qualify for a bonus, or maybe I get more time off, or whatever the case may be, but make certain those goals are clear. Make sure they're financially realistic. If somebody's expecting some type of pay increase that's not realistic, there needs to be some guidelines built so that they understand what that's going to be. Be as competitive as possible within the realm of the role. Find out, right, if there's needing to be a compensation survey or something like that along the lines. You can utilize other tools outside of Insperity, or Insperity does have those as well, but I'm not doing this as a sales job for Insperity, but understand this is how people feel valued and can move up through the organization. A differentiated mix of required and optional employee benefits, right? So that might mean, could be healthcare, could be dental, vision, life insurance, all kinds of other things that people might want. Bonuses, again, extra time off. What does that look like? But differentiated between all of the employees, because some people may not care about extra time off, but they care about a bonus. Well articulated, including any additional perks, and part of the total compensation package. I know what we do with a lot of our clients is at the end of the year, we provide a total compensation package to each employee. And what is that? That is basically their pay. But it also shows if there's a retirement package that the company kicks in towards that, how much is the company paying towards that? If there are benefits being paid for, how much has the company paid for those benefits? That adds up to the total compensation of the employee. Somebody who may hear themselves getting paid $60,000 a year, quite honestly, it's more like 90 after all the benefits are added in there. Next slide, please. Ongoing training. So this is important because really this helps employees understand their training and what it is, but make the training goals what we call SMART. Okay, specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and put a time cap on that. Because ultimately, what you don't want is assign somebody some training and they just say, oh, yeah, I'm going to do it. And then they just never get it accomplished. These are important things to be able to have people get the training done, make sure that there is a time limit on it, and then follow up to make sure that it's complete. Very important. Also, what I would tell you is if you have employees that see no career path, right, they're going to be the ones who are just going to be stuck. They're not going to want to do anything where they're looking to move up. They're looking to move out. So that's why this training portion can be very important. Next slide, please. The performance management, this is an important part of all of this because this is going to help the employees if they are looking to move up the ladder, if you will. This is going to be the part that takes effect, right? So increasing their knowledge base through mentorships. Maybe there is a way for someone who's just starting off or mid-management wants to become a little bit higher up in the organization. This is important to be able to assign them projects, but also monitor them. Give them the stretch projects so that they are able to really go beyond where they have been before, but all along the way they're being guided. Okay. Let them see their potential opportunities, right? If they are able to accomplish these things, this is what that may look like. So build a culture that supports career mobility. And that's important to understand that because ultimately, really what people want to know is, hey, can you tell me what success looks like in my position? That's what they want to understand. Next slide, please. So here's some mistakes, right? Common mistakes that we see. Failure to communicate. You've probably heard, I can't remember the movie, but what we have here is a failure to communicate, right? That is an important line, but it's very true. That's why earlier I mentioned make that communication part of what might be assigned to them smart. That methodology is important. Lack of consistency. So recording both positive and negative impacts of what the employee might have. We want to make certain that we're doing constant appraisals and making sure that we're doing, hey, we're giving positive feedback as well as negative and constructive criticism. Avoiding difficult conversations. Employees can't approve if you don't tell them, hey, look, you constantly show up late or whatever the case may be. We need to rectify that and we need to fix it. We need to work together on a plan to do that. That's important. So don't ignore it. And then viewing appraisals as a yearly event. Appraisals and feedback should be continuous. I know that I work with groups typically that do it on a quarterly basis. And I know that we do that here at Insperity as well. There is an annual review, but there's also a quarterly. Next slide, please. So everybody knows these, right? But these are multi-generational differences. How do you work with people who are in these different categories? I happen to be right in the baby boomer, okay? So you can see here, and this is a good slide, the strengths and weaknesses of baby boomers. And this is, I guess, if I'm having to look at me and I look at that slide, it's pretty accurate. So hardworking, critical thinkers, team players, that's the positives. Motivators are job advancement, job security, retirement benefits, structure, and stability. Right. So if you look at some of the different ones here, and I don't have to read all this, you guys can read through this. It's different in each of the generations. And why is that? Well, obviously, technology plays a big part in all of this. We know the iPhones have been a big deal, and all of those things when I was growing up didn't exist. So now that they do exist, I would say that there are a lot more people who utilize that and the power of, said devices to be able to accomplish a lot more. So these are things that are just different challenges. And these are key multi-generational differences that you can see outlined in this slide. Next slide, please. Social responsibility. People want to work for companies that offer them a chance to make a difference in their communities. So we see a lot of volunteerism here at Insperity. I know people there at First Tee probably see a lot of the same value. So I think that this slide may already be something that you, through the First Tee, already are doing. This is what you all are about. So from our perspective, when we talk to business owners, what we're trying to do is to get them out and their employees out to understand what that social responsibility is, volunteerism. Okay. So I feel like that's something that you are already equipped with. So I think we can go to the next slide, please. Servant leadership. These are important. These principles are very important. So the very first one there, principle number one, lead rather than manage. Managing your people versus leading the people, entirely different, right? Leadership, people want to feel like they're part of something. Manage, you feel like you're being told what to do. So that is an intrinsic difference about leading rather than managing people. Very important. They will feel, again, connected to the group if they're feeling like they're being led versus being told what to do. A couple of things here. One of the things that I would say is using these six principles, right? This is an important part. You can better the employee engagement, and that's really what this is all about. The leadership style or influence, if you go down to and you see rely on authority rather than power, really what that relates to is the leadership style or influence style versus someone, again, being told what they have to do versus them wanting to be led. And that's an important difference. So, compliance, respect for the position, all of those things come naturally for someone who is a leader, but someone who is, otherwise not doing it that way and telling their people they have to do something, they're going to get some pushback, and probably those people are going to be less desirable to work around because they're not feeling like they're being led. Okay. Next slide, please. Insperity's services give you a little bit of what we are. The HR 360 Insperity's model, our PEO model. And through this model, it's one of the platforms that we offer. We offer two. One of them is HR 360. The other one is HR Core. The HR 360 is our PEO model. And notice that circle, that blue circle there with the word co-employment. So what we do in our model is co-employ all of the employees, the executive director, everybody who's there, and then do all of these things within that wheel bundled in a solution and a service. So the beauty of this, it gives Insperity access to be able to provide payroll, HR infrastructure, retirement, benefits, all wrapped up into one package. Okay, that is our HR core model. That is option number one. Next slide. This will give you the ability of how to reach us. The other model that I was referring to, HR Core, is not the PEO model. It simply allows you to access Insperity. And again, we will have if you guys decide to chat with us, we will cover both of the programs. But the HR Core program also allows you to do payroll through Insperity, have an HR team, but it wouldn't be able to provide you the benefit solution or through the co-employment relationship. So those two different packages completely. But again, we can decide what works best for you on a meeting that we would discuss. And this is how you would reach Insperity through national accounts sales at insperity.com. Notice on the bottom left, if you would, please provide the name of the or your organization, the council, and the phone number, email, number of total employees, and a few available dates. And then one of our team members will reach out to you to schedule a date that'll work well for a discovery call. That is all that I have right now through the sales slide deck. But I would like to open it up to questions. And if we have any there in the chat, Andrea, if you want to read them off to me, I'll be happy to try and answer them.
Yes. So we have one question. I think you touched on this a little bit, but maybe you can expand about what a career path at Chapters could look like as we want to keep people, but people always want to grow. Yep, that's the question.
Yeah, ultimately, career pathing, and forgive me because I've not run a first tee, but when we talk to most business owners who may have, for example, hired someone on who's, let's just say, answering the phones, right? But they want to grow in a way that is going to provide them a move up the career path. What might that look like? Well, I mentioned training and development. I mentioned leadership mentoring. I mentioned all of those things. It's good to bring someone in and assign them a mentor, because then they can have a one-on-one discussion about, hey, what is it that you really want to do? Answering the phone for the rest of your life may not be your goal, right? So let's talk about what we can do to get you into a position. And look, we also know that people are utilizing this role as maybe a stepping stone to do something else completely. So being honest and open about that, I think that's good communication.
Awesome, thank you. And we have one more question that just popped up. Can you please clarify if there is currently a formal relationship in place between First Tee and Insperity?
Yes, good question. Yes, there is. There's a national account partnership, which allows First Tee to be able to access Insperity at a discounted rate for our administrative services based on the size of the group. There's tiered pricing. You're bigger, obviously, you get a little bit of more of a discount, but Insperity off the street, if you will, it's a typically between a 17 to 22% reduction off of our administrative pricing. So that is a discount. And then specifically as it relates to the one-time enrollment fees, they are reduced as well in the same regard. So that's what the relationship is. It gives you guys access to this to be able to talk to Insperity so that you can have hey, let's look at what we're doing currently right now. We're going to vet it against what Insperity can do, and we're going to make an informed decision. We're not selling this to you. We are looking to be able to partner with you, and if it makes fiscal sense, we're happy to bring you on. If it doesn't, we're going to tell you it doesn't. But the two pathways that we offer you to join Insperity, we see a lot of great opportunities either side, the PEO model or the non-PEO, we call traditional HR core.
Fantastic. And no other questions in the chat. So if anyone has any questions, please feel free to place them in the chat. Or I think we have a pretty small group. Feel free to come off mute too if you wanted to ask a quick question.
What chapter is using Insperity? I think we've got a couple. Well, I know we've got a couple. I think there's some out in California. We have one of our salespeople, Matt San Regret, I think sits on the board out there in San Diego. Don't quote me, but look, it's been a relatively new relationship for me. So we are spread out among the country. We have 800 salespeople and 4,500 employees. I'm the one who's going to help spearhead just putting the national account agreement together. But I don't know the total number, but I'm pretty sure we've got a couple out in California, and I know we've probably got some on the East Coast as well.
And the model be modeled for volunteers as well.
Can the model be modeled? I'm not certain.
So I think like
Sorry,
your
total
presentation.
typo. I just
Okay.
meant like, is this specifically for paid employees, or is this something that we can use in a way for building a good volunteer base as well?
Listen, I think there's a lot of strategy involved there for volunteers as well. Obviously, right? That's a little bit different. The people who are actually working there getting paid, you can put some training and development together. But if you want to do it with the people who are volunteering there as well, read your audience, right? If you've got people who are saying, well, I'd really like to be a part of that, then absolutely do it. But as far as, paid employees and they're on the PEO model of Insperity, the volunteers, they're not going to get access to any of what, our dashboard or any of those types of things because they are not employed there by Insperity. Any other questions, anybody?
Okay, I think we'll go ahead then and wrap up. I want to thank you, RB, for your time today, and thank you for that presentation. As I mentioned at the top of the call, we will be sharing the recording and the slides out via email later this afternoon, so you'll have access to that. We'll also be sending a quick, I think 2 to 3 question survey. If you could tell us how we did today, that would be great. So thank you again, everyone, for joining us, and hope I have a great rest of your week. Thank you.
Thank you all.